Oh, some days I just can't help but cloning around. Hey, welcome to another episode of BluesPedals. This is John January, and today we're going to talk about clons. Does John clon? How does John clon? Why would John clon in the first place? Well, before we do that, though, I'd like you to hit the subscribe button and show that you care about what I'm doing here by hitting a like. And we're going to get right to this. You're going to see that this format that I'm doing is just kind of at the top of my head, by the skin of my teeth, by the scruff of my neck. So everybody knows what a klon is, right? A klon is a pedal that came out in the 90s, and it was only made for a limited time, and the value of these pedals have gone up astronomically and are now purchased by people who don't have to worry about paying their bills. So what happened was that other companies decided, hey, we can build one of these things and sell it for a lot less, and everybody can have this great sound. So the klon sound, I really like it a lot. It's very different than the Timmy sound that I use. I'm not sure about the technology under the hood, but it's definitely a different kind of thing. I've tried incorporating it with my other basic tones, which I discussed in the last video, and sometimes it works, usually it doesn't. I usually like to have it by itself, just because that one pedal is so incredibly powerful that I don't really need to combo it with other pedals, though some people do. I use my clones as full-on overdrive distortions. I don't use them as boost or flavoring pedals. And considering that if you want the original for $7,000 these days, why would you buy a pedal just so that you can have a slight subtle flavor in your tone? I prefer to get something a lot more dramatic out of the things that I step on. So you can see that the light here is on the Soulfood pedal, right? Electro-harmonix makes their own version of a klon. And what's really cool about Electro-harmonix is that they didn't use the same circuit. They did a completely different architecture under the hood in order to give you basically the same sound. So kudos to them for doing that. I do have some other clones that I've tried. They are these little Mosky guys. Woo, where are we? Right here. All right, the little Mosky. And if you've watched the JHS Pedals program, you've seen them shoot one of these out with the $7,000 or more models, and the people could not tell the difference between the two of them. So that's kind of how that goes. I bought this one. I liked it a lot. I liked the Soulfood even better. And if you see the reviews of people who really know such things way better than I do, they'll tell you that the Soulfood has something that's just a little bit more vivid, and it just kind of growls a little bit more. And I think that's one of the reasons that I like it better. I did buy this so that I could go to jams and such with a minimal setup, and I like it a lot. It's great. It performs the same kind of function. You know what happened, though, is that this is really small. It's really dinky, and I couldn't find it for the longest time, so I figured, oh, well, $30, and I left it behind at a club somewhere. I'll just go ahead and get myself another one. So that's exactly what I did. I bought myself another one, and this is the Silver Horsey, and this has some kind of little switch on it, which says voice. And I haven't really used that setting much. I do like it. It's a little bit more compressed, but I like the wide open voice, the kind of classic Klon voice here. So now what happened was though that I'd actually taken this one and I'd stuck it in my backpack, and I forgot about it, and then my brother found it in the backpack recently. So now I've got two backups for the Soulfood, but I'm probably going to get a second Soulfood just because it's become the cornerstone of my setup. Let me tell you about that. All Klons have a buffered bypass, which is really cool. And you can see that mine is in the center of my signal path, right? And what that does is it brightens things back up after having several pedals, after having your signal go through several pedals. So my signal goes into the wah-wah, and then the boost, and then the two Timmies, and then in the middle, before I get to my modulation effects, of which I only have just a couple right now, I've got the Klon, and so the buffered bypass brightens things up. The cool thing about the Soulfood is that it has a toggle switch, which lets you toggle between buffered bypass and true bypass. So you really can see the difference in what those two things do. And when I had it on true bypass for a number of years, I was noticing that my sound was kind of dull when I plugged in the big board, as opposed to just playing the pedal by itself. So I read about the buffered bypass, went inside, changed the switch, and voila, the whole thing just brightened up as if it was just one guitar and a cable and the pedal going into my amplifier. So today I'm playing my Epiphone 1960 Tribute Les Paul. It's got the beautiful custom shop humbuckers in it. And I like to use humbuckers with my Klons. That's right, I don't use my single coils at all. Only the humbuckers, and I really like that sound a lot. If I'm playing some Allman Brothers or something really thick like that, the Klon is really wonderful. The thing about the Klon, though, is that it doesn't necessarily clean up completely. It does clean up, but not completely. Here's the sound of the guitar clean. Right. Now with the Klon, or I should say with the Soulfood, you do get some nice shades. You can hear that it's still overdriven. It's still an overdrive sound. Today you're hearing these sounds through my Fender Deluxe Reverb amp, and this is my favorite sound. This is my favorite amp. It really is the litmus test for any gear that I get, whether it's a new guitar or pedals. It's loaded with a Weber 12 F150 50 watt speaker. So you can put a 50 watt speaker in your Fender Deluxe Reverb, and it gives you a lot more headroom for your pedals. And I like it a lot. I can get really incredibly loud with that 50 watt speaker in this little 22 watt amp. But mine's probably dialed up to about 25 or 26 watts at this point. Anyways, so that's what we're playing through today. This guitar right here is a Telecaster that I built. It's named Smokey, and I have it tuned in open G at the moment for a song that my band is recording. But I usually have it in open A at the gigs, but I guess during breaks I'm gonna have to retune it for the new song. But I like to do a lot of slide, obviously, in open tuning. Smokey has overwound pickups of the variety that Lindy Fralin and Seymour Duncan produced. I don't know who made these. I bought them about 15 years ago from some brothers in Greensboro, North Carolina, or something like that, and I'm unable to track them down. But I really do like the sound of it a lot. It is still quasi Telecaster sounding, but it's a big, thick sound, as you're about to hear. So here's the back pickup, just clean going into the Fender amplifier. Middle position. Forward position. You can hear that it's more verging into kind of Gibson territory. It's thicker, woollier sounding than a normal Telecaster. Which makes this guitar fun because it's different than the other Teles that I own. And then here's the fourth position, which is both pickups in series, and this is definitely more of a humbucking kind of tone. So it's kind of a hybrid tone. It's somewhere between humbucking and Fender. Now we'll kick on the Soulfood. Now the thing about the Klon is that, like I said, it doesn't clean up completely, but to me, the Klon pedal is a rock and roll pedal. It's got all these sounds that really put me in the mind of Zeppelin, Aerosmith, even Steve Marriott, Humble Pie, you know, that classic rock era. So when you roll down your volume, you still get some really great chunky kind of sounds. I'm still discovering how all this works and fits together inside of the mix. You know, it's a sound that's really in front of the mix. Like I said, it harkens back to the classic rock era where the guitar was really at the forefront of the mix. So if you're looking for something that you're going to be playing that's going to sit down, way down in the mix and be unobtrusive, this probably isn't the sound for you. Of course, other people like to use the Klon and the clones as nuance enhancers for other overdrive pedals and so forth and so on. I haven't really tried that, but to me it's a lot of moving parts for just one particular signature sound. And of course, if you don't have everything together when you go out to play, you won't have that particular tone. So I like the fact that the Klon is one pedal and you do get a lot of different types of sounds. But to me, it's a pedal that's really meant for rock and roll. Check the description below for free YouTube streams of songs from my albums using the Soulfood Klon sound with these guitars. See you all next time.